Okay, what episode number is this, William? I was gonna say, like, welcome to season 2, episode 9, but we've never done that. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Hanukkah Erotica Book Club. I am Raizel, and I'm joined by my stepsister and co-host Malya.
Hi.
Hey Mal.
Hello.
And this is season 2, episode 9.
So we've learned, yes.
Which we just learned.
Yes, we're
Episode 209.
It's a big one. Monumental.
And tonight we're talking about nice Jewish boys. We have a lot to say, but before we dive in,
Yes.
we have a lot of other things to catch up on.
You're right. I have a few things that are top of mind, but I don't know if you have an order.
Yeah, I mean, since we last spoke, there's been a lot going on with
There's a lot of
friend of the pod, Jonah Platt.
Yes. I generally try to hold myself back from texting you in real time about these things because it's much better when we just discuss it first. We get fresh, hot takes here. But when I saw that new Jonah Platt thirst trap carousel of another tattoo, which you had predicted, it was instinct took over, and you were like, save it for the podcast, and I was like, okay, sorry.
Well, the thing that was so great, so I mean, I'm sure it's clear that I got a text from Malya about Jonah Platt's new tattoo, but before that happened, a few days earlier, I think you may have missed a post of his about the search for a masculine Magen David.
Oh, I totally did miss that. Yes.
And I commented as Hanukkah Erotica, like bulging eyes emoji, like, okay, another Jonah Platt thirst trap, we see you.
Oh, because he had like close-ups of his chest with a Magen David.
Yes.
Oh, I have to go back and look. That's too good to pass up.
And it was it was so good, and all I wanted to do was screenshot that and send it to you. Especially our comment, which he liked. He liked our comment, and also it's like, I'm speaking on behalf of both of us. Like, I don't approve these things. Like, I saw it, I posted. Like,
no, you have to go with your heart. I mean, absolutely,
of course. And I think that exactly.
You represent both of us. I'm completely comfortable with that.
Thank you.
Yes.
But yeah, it was a whole post of him with all these.
Oh wow. Oh, and there's a bunch of photos in that series.
A bunch of photos of him and all of this Magen David that he chose.
That's the masculine one that he settled on.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then in stories, all the different brands that he liked, but not the one that he went with. All these different masculine, Jewish stars, and how it's so necessary in this time.
Great.
And
I'm really glad he's done that
company.
work for so many.
And I wrote, okay, another Jonah Platt thirst trap, we see you, with the bulging eyes emoji. Yeah, which he didn't like it. He commented back.
Oh.
He commented back even better, with the crying, laughing emoji, and he liked it.
That's really good. That's some intense engagement. That's some real engagement there.
Oh yeah. He wrote, he tagged us and laugh, cried emoji back.
I love it. I have to go back and look. Thank you for keeping on top of that.
So I couldn't wait to talk about that on this episode, obviously. But then, since that post, there's been more, because he posted on the other side of his other pec.
Yes. Right. One pec is Gamze Yavor.
And the other pec is him and his son sitting on a park bench.
Right. It's very intricate.
It is. And then a real picture of him and his son on a bench.
It was on Father's Day. He posted on Father's Day.
Yeah. William
say, yeah.
I can't even say it because I'm like kind of averse to puns, so I'm going to need you to share.
Oh, yeah. He's asking if anyone has commented plateau. If anyone's called it a plateau. I didn't see that, but that feels too good to not
I
using a
think that
future
we should
comment.
tell him for the next tat, which is obviously,
Forthcoming.
coming.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes. In the next 2 weeks, if the time progression is any indication thus far.
Exactly. Just in time for the next time we record. So Jonah Platt's great. Love his tats. I love his Jewish star.
Keep it coming. Please.
Please.
We're here with bated breath, really.
We are. So that was obviously, like, for me, the most important thing to discuss.
No, I'm glad you brought that up first because I wanted to also, but then I was like, maybe there's something more serious, but no.
No, the other thing I also wanted to talk about is that a lot of you probably only know Malya and I as the readers of Jewish romance. Before we were readers of Jewish romance, we were readers of many other genres, and we've always talked about books, which is part of why we thought this would be fun in the first place.
Yes.
And I always post to my Instagram stories all the books that I'm reading that aren't these books. These books too, but anyway, recently I posted a psychological thriller that I kind of snacked on in between great books, and Malya read it.
Yes. Wait, and I was saying to you, because I wrote that I read you had a comment about how it was, kind of messed up, but you sort of liked it. And I was like, yeah,
Yep.
I totally agree with exactly what you said. And I also was saying that I felt like this podcast has really given me permission to just dive into genres that I would have thought, oh, like, not gonna read a psychological thriller that's like, too sort of like trashy and silly. But no, they're actually great and,
So good.
very enjoyable. And I've read a couple by that same author. I think she's really
I
good.
love that. I love that this experience has opened you to other genres, but psychological thrillers really are fun. And
Very
this was the
fun.
Lisa Jewell book. None of this is true, but
Yes.
isn't it fun when there's a podcast within a book?
Yes, that whole book was about a podcast. I think that's what drew me to it.
It's really fun. Like, a podcast within a book makes it really super entertaining. There's
That
one
book
that I
had
think
all
you'd
the
like.
stuff that you like the texts and the, like the
Yes,
social media
yes.
stuff. Like
So fun.
It was very twisty and murdery. It had all the good
Yeah.
things.
Totally unhinged and deranged, but also
Yeah.
love that podcast.
That podcast went off the rails.
Wait, every book I'm reading lately is about, like, women and 45-year-old women.
You
Like,
know,
that
I was
book
gonna
is about
say-
two 45-year-old women.
You loved that book and I loved it too. What's that Jonathan Franzen book? Freedom.
Yes, I loved that book.
That was the first book where I realized that, like, now I identify with, like, the 45-year-old mom character and not, like, the teenage girl character. Even though, if you remember, the 45-year-old mom in Freedom, like, was miserable. But
Yes.
I still felt like her whole, just the things that she was dealing with and the things she thought about were more my speed than, like, her teenage daughter's, like, love angst or, like, puberty issues or whatever. Like, it just made me realize I'm in a different... I've
Yes.
changed, like, roles where
Yes.
I
Okay.
situate
This has
myself.
happened to me. This happened to me a few times. Once in a rewatch of My So-Called Life, I was like, "Oh my God, I'm Patty and not Angela now."
Totally. Oh my God, that's freaky.
So I
yes.
was like, that was it. I was like,
Right.
"I'm Patty.
yeah.
I'm no
yeah.
longer Angela." I was
Yeah.
Angela because I started watching that show when I was literally 10.
Right.
Then I grew into Angela, and now I am Patty, horrified at the things that my daughter says and does. Okay.
Completely. So
I'm
much more
Patty.
relatable, Patty. Absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. 2, also when she cuts her hair, like, I'm Patty.
Totally. Everything.
But also
about
Angela
her.
did that with her hair too, but okay.
Right.
2, today, an Instagram reel popped up for me,
Okay.
and it was definitely made by, like, a college student or something, mocking her mom, and it was like, every mom when she realizes that you've just found a moment of calm, and it's like a mom walking into a room in a panic, like, "I gotta clean out the spice drawer immediately. I need to do it now," and, like, waving spices in her face. And then, like, the next scene, she, like, is, like, waving a garbage bag. "I need all the pants that don't fit you right now. We have 7 minutes. We have 7 minutes." And she's like, panicked, walking in and out of rooms, screaming at her daughter that they need to clean some item. And I'm saying, I am that mom, not the daughter searching for calm. So I've had that. But yeah, Jonathan Franzen, yeah, that book too.
that book was that's the moment that I realized it. But like same thing with that none of this is true. Like I was like, oh, these women are like, this is me. Like here we are.
Yep.
I mean, not that I'm that murderer woman or the woman whose husband gets killed, but
I get it.
You know,
40,
I get it.
But same with like I just read the Miranda July book, All Fours, another 45-year-old woman.
Oh,
Did you
I'm
read
reading
it?
that now too. I'm in the middle of it.
Okay, that's another 45-year-old woman. Just all these books, 45, 45, 45, all of it.
That's the algorithm or whatever. That's where we are.
Oh wait, how far into that book are you? Because I have the craziest thing about that book happening. Had that happened to me, I finished it. I read it twice actually.
Oh wow, I'm not that far.
Okay, she describes the birth of her baby. That's what happened with Jonah. It's like very rare.
Oh really?
Yes.
I haven't gotten to that yet. That's crazy.
Okay. But
is it because I know it's like somewhat autobiographical, so I wonder if that actually did happen to her.
It definitely did. It's too unusual. There's no way she just came up with that out of nowhere.
Right.
And it's insane. And in the book, she's searching for other people that have gone through it, but she can't find them because anyone who's gone through it has had a stillbirth. Like that's how unusual it is.
Wow.
It's crazy. Also, this baby was in the NICU for 17 days and Jonah was there for 16. Like it's like a very,
Are you going to write to her?
I did, but I didn't hear back.
She's probably like very inundated.
Yeah. It's very good.
That's crazy. Wow.
It's really unusual. As also the doctor and nurse, like I had very similar conversations with them where she's like seeking more information and she's not getting it because it's too unusual. And usually it happens after a trauma, but this happened out of nowhere. Same with her. It's really crazy.
That's crazy.
I feel like I need to talk to her.
And you're saying that this really happened to her?
I don't. I just think that because the book is semi-autobiographical it's the way she writes about it is it's the exact same experience I had. She either interviewed somebody who had that. It has to be that this is how her kid was born.
Okay, well, I really hope she finds your message.
Yeah, me too.
That's crazy. Okay, I'll keep an eye out for that as I continue reading.
So anyway, Molly and I also read other books.
Sure do.
This is us talking about some of them.
Wait, but I did want to bring up. Yes, I just
please.
wanted to bring up that going back. Well, I had two things. First of all, going back 2 episodes, I noticed. I think after we recorded last time that the author of Late Night Love wrote to us that her mom listened to our podcast episode about Late Night Love and really liked it, which I thought was so cute.
Oh my God. Do you know what? I didn't see it because I think since we're both in the Instagram, I don't see all the messages. If they're read, I have to go back and look. That's so cool.
Yeah, I thought that was really sweet.
Oh, that's really fun. I hope they all become I hope they're listeners now and start listening to the pod.
Yeah, that would be really nice. Oh, and the other thing is I just wanted to know, following up on last week's last episode, if you had done any research on dental dams and could report back.
I'm sorry to disappoint.
Okay.
Still on my to-do list.
Keeping a pin in that.
Yeah. Still on my to-do list. Not checked off yet. I will get back to you on dental dams, I promise. And it actually will segue well into something I wanted to tell you about at the end of this podcast, which is that sometimes I make promises on this podcast that I don't fulfill, like this. And
just our listeners may be still awaiting. Just keeping that.
Of course, I will. I could think of a few. I could think of a few that I haven't fulfilled. One, I said I was going to write a review of Snowbound in her boss's bed.
Oh yeah. I didn't
do that.
Didn't get to that.
Yet.
Okay.
Didn't do it yet.
Yeah.
Okay, still on my personal to-do list.
Got it.
And then 2, there was a book last summer that I found when I was looking for Jewish summery books. Remember, we were like into summer and we were craving Jewish books that took place in the summer and camp and this and that. And I found a book that I said I'm going to read because I thought maybe it wasn't a romance, but I was like, I'm going to read it.
Okay.
And I didn't.
Oh, okay.
But it's my suggestion for our next book.
Okay. All right.
Summertime Jews by Mark Schwartz. Let's get to that at the end. So anyway, I am aware that I sometimes make promises I don't fulfill, but I'm going to start to.
Okay, we have to get to it because there's a lot to say here.
Okay, we do. Okay, Nice Jewish Boys, by Sarah Young.
Yes.
Okay. Before we get into it,
yes.
Did you read the about the author?
Yes. That I was going to say. I kind of feel like we have to start there. Absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
Mal, you take it away.
Okay, so I only learned at the end of the book, when I got to the about the author, which was the last page, that the author was an actual young adult when she wrote this book at the age of 15 for something called like something with an acronym that I never heard of, like National Write a Novel Month or something.
Well, you have a great memory. Yes, National Write a Novel Month, and it was like na
NaNoWriMo or something like with the first syllables of all those words.
NaNoWriMo.
Thank you. I was like, is that a thing? She put that down like people have heard of that.
Yes, she
Maybe
wrote
they
this
have.
book at
She wrote this book
15.
at 15. So I mean, like, I almost feel like my whole everything that I was gonna say, I think needs to be unsaid or reworked based on that knowledge because, like, I mean, this is amazing. It's like a full
In
who could have done this at 15? Not me.
what a gift. I
Crazy.
mean, what amazing writer. Again, 15.
It's a nuts. At 15, I mean, I was proud of myself when I wrote like 4 pages. I you know.
An aim away message.
Right. That was
An
our
aim
novel.
away. An aim away
Yeah,
message
a
was
clever
my
aim away message.
NaNoWriMo.
Abs-
That was my NaNoWriMo.
Totally.
It still is. An
Yeah.
Instagram caption. That's all I got. That's all. Commenting on Jonah Platz, that's the best writing I have. I mean,
Totally.
she's so talented. She wrote this book at 15.
It's amazing. But like now I'm
So
like, did she write the book in like it took her the month? Like she wrote this book in a month.
I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
I don't get it. She's so talented. I don't know this, but the other thing that is really important to say, given that people come to Hanukkah erotica expecting Jewish romance, is that this is not a romance. This is a very sad book. I don't. Is this a romance? There's a
Yeah.
they're in
I
a
mean, there is
relationship,
a romance in it, I guess.
but
It's
like
not a it's not a
it's not a
beat.
typical
It's not a
happily
light.
ever after light romance.
No. It's not a beach read.
It's
I'll be honest, I feel like this is a little bit more of like what I imagined YA is like. It felt a little bit like a throwback to me. Like heavy, like crises. Like a lot of the YA that I read as a kid was like unplanned pregnancies. Like I don't know, like
after
people
school specials.
after school special. This felt a little after school special-y to me.
Except like in through the lens of this from community, from a high school, Orthodox high school, homosexual relationship. By the way, content warning. So
Oh,
much
yeah.
homophobia, internalized homophobia, attempted suicide. Like it is
Yes.
heavy.
Yes. Yes.
It's so heavy. Truly,
Yes.
like people should know that going in. It's hard. This is not.
No,
This is
it's
a
not a
hard book to
light.
read. It's
Right.
it's very hard
Yes.
to read. It's very upsetting. And the thing is, it shines a light on something that I believe must be real within the Orthodox community. Also, every time we read any book, you're always like, I can't believe that the story's not about the fact that these kids are gay in like a Jewish high school, right?
Right.
Like or
Right.
gay within the Jewish community. And I'm always like,
Right.
I don't know, like yeah, because it's 2020 whatever. But I guess in many Orthodox communities, or the Orthodox community, or ultra Orthodox communities, or I don't know. I assume in the modern Orthodox communities there has to be some more acceptance now.
I think so. I mean, I feel like this book, the author's, based on what she said about when she graduated and whenever, it seems like the book was written like maybe 10 years ago ish. And I feel like there's been like, there's that one scene, just skipping ahead, there's one scene where like, after whatever, it's two boys who go to this Orthodox yeshiva. They're high school students, and it comes out, they make a public announcement that they're gay and they're in a relationship. And the next day, like the principal calls them into his office and says, basically, you need to take the whole thing back or you're expelled. And they're kind of like, well, we can't take the whole thing back. We like made a public announcement. And then the principal's like, well, you're expelled and I'm calling security to escort you out right now. That seemed like pretty over the top. Like, is that really happening? Like,
I don't know, but I don't know because you and I have read all those OTD like off the derech books, I think
Right,
my
but
mom just sent us another Off the Derech book.
oh, did she? I didn't
I
see
think
that.
she emailed. Oh, was that? I don't know now.
Because this is not the Haredi community. This is
Exactly.
like a
This isn't the
modern
Haredi community.
Orthodox, or I don't know modern Orthodox, but it's not Haredi by any means.
Right.
These are like people who are in the modern world who like go to college, like, all that.
Watch silly videos on YouTube or whatever.
Exactly.
Also, Avishai's dad is in politics. Like, no, you don't have.
Right. The
I
main
understand what you're
character's
saying.
father is a congressman.
Right. Right.
So like I don't know. That
It
seemed
felt
very
really
over the top to
extreme to
me.
me. It felt
Yes.
over the top and extreme to me too. But also, even when we were talking about the book with the fake relationship, the other Hayati Hirsch book,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
were like, I used to I used to think what would be harder, going back to a reunion, single, or going back to the reunion in a relationship. So it's like, even if there's this feeling that like going back to my community and being out would be so heavy and hard and almost impossible to do, like it has to be really being escorted out by security seems, bananas, but it does feel that this heavy within the community.
Totally. And I believe that that's still the case.
I hope it's not. I mean, here's the thing. In this book, very early on, we learn about this program called Jonah. Did you know about it?
It rang a bell. I think I did know about it because I was
I
thinking, is
did
this a
too.
real thing? Because I think I've heard of
Yes.
it.
Okay, so it used to be, and there's a court case that is,
Oh.
yeah, okay, so I could tell you a little bit about it, but so I had heard about it, but from someone growing in high school who got sent to it,
Oh,
actually.
wow.
But it's like straight camp. It's like conversion therapy. It's like those things are illegal. But
Yeah, yeah.
it's a Jewish one, and the acronym for Jonah in the book is different than the acronym for Jonah when I looked for it on the internet.
Oh,
I don't
another thing
know.
that also seemed a little over the
Yeah.
top is in the book, like the main character says that every year during their student orientation, a representative from Jonah comes to the school and like proactively is like, if you're struggling with these thoughts and feelings, we can cure you. Like, that's not happening.
Yeah, like that. I would love to know though. I would love to talk to Sarah about this. So Jews offering new alternatives to homosexuality. Jonah is this like the kids in the book are calling it straight camp, but it's like, yes, it's like this. It's really like an illegal
Yeah, I think those things
conversion
are in most
therapy.
states are illegal now. Yes.
Yes. Um, and it says, like, this is in the book: students who were suspected of being gay by a faculty member or any other student or their concerned parents, for that matter, were to be referred to the school psychologist, who would in turn send them to Jonah. Avishai and Noah each finished their dinner in silence, Avishai mulling through the new possibilities as they sprang into his mind. There was such a taboo in their community, in their school especially, that he wasn't sure exactly what to do, and certainly wasn't sure of what to prepare for in terms of the next day. They would have to be surprised and hope to avoid Jonah. It just sounds. The thing is, what she's describing sounds like a dystopian nightmare, which is like really upsetting to me that these things are happening or at least happened within the Jewish community.
It's horrible. But I'm just saying I do think that it's a little dated. Like I don't I mean
Right.
obviously like since these things are really I mean I guess maybe some of them could have gone underground and still exist, but I think that the attitudes have shifted. Like again, we're not talking about the ultra orthodox community here. Like we're talking about modern people. I do think the attitudes have shifted. And maybe like the evolution that the dad character goes through is supposed to indicate that like, there is a possibility for change in attitudes even by the adults.
Right. Like possibly, let's say in the Orthodox community today, the modern Orthodox community today, with families who go to a synagogue where men and women's, pray on separate sides of a mechitza, and the only rabbis are men, and these are all, and when men and women pray differently and practice differently and have kind of even different laws that they follow. Like maybe this isn't a parent's preference,
Yes.
but they also understand that this is a possibility, like this is part of some people's experience, like, and hopefully they don't disown their kids. This father didn't.
No,
We should
this
talk about
father
that.
like really like rose to the. I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop with that, like because at first the father came off like such an asshole, um, and then he seemed to like all of a sudden really turn it around, and I kept waiting for him to like be secretly like waiting with the guys from Jonah on the other side of the door to take them, but he really was
Yeah,
just like.
all the closeted from men from Jonah who are who else is running Jonah?
Well, yeah, it's all right. They all are like success stories, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, the dad really came around. And
In the
also there was
first
like
scene, yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
go on. No, go on.
No, I was gonna say in the first scene, he's basically like passing laws as a politician,
Yes.
like
Like like
prevent it.
right. Preventing anti-discrimination laws against gay people, and then he comes home and like has a whole offensive diatribe over the Shabbat table about why he doesn't believe that these people need, special treatment or whatever. And
Right, but then like you go.
no, and of course, like this is like really torturing his like secretly gay son who is like sitting there listening.
Right. Also, this dad is not home like Monday through Friday, and Avishai's mom died. So Avishai's like totally alone Monday through
Yeah, this
Friday.
seemed crazy to me. Like I understand he's like he's a junior in high school, so he's like 16. But that seems crazy to just leave your only 16-year-old child just alone all week in a house.
All week. All
Like
week. And also, like, when Avishai's stressed, he cooks. I'm like, poor baby. Like, I get that in all the other books we're reading of like 45-year-old moms.
right. He's like a 16-year-old
But
boy
like,
in a home
poor baby
alone cooking.
sauteing onions. He's always like sauteing onions. I'm like,
Right.
you're a baby still.
Right.
Stop.
And preparing a whole Shabbat dinner for when his dad like grumpily comes in the door Friday afternoon.
Right. And also, he calls it breadcrumb chicken. Is that what people call it? Is that a weird thing to call chicken with breadcrumb chicken?
What would you call it? Like schnitzel?
Yeah, like I mean, unless is it because it's on the bone, like maybe fried chicken or breaded chicken? I don't know. I just thought it was.
Yeah,
Is that like
breadcrumb
a from
chicken is
thing?
weird. I never heard of that. I don't know.
Right,
It could be a from
right.
thing. I don't know.
I don't either. So they obviously these guys go to the same shul, Avishai and Noah. Also, Ushi is his nickname for him, but is Ushi a nickname for Avishai?
No, I think those are like baby pet names they have. They have like it's like they're like Ushi and Nushi or something. Right? Weren't they? Didn't they have like
I don't know. They were so cute. I felt so bad for them. Also, like
they were
it was
cute.
just
The
they
baby
just
pet
like
names I really is a
Ushi, but I thought like Ushi, maybe that's a nickname for Avishai. Or,
yeah, it
there's all
was.
these crazy nicknames, like like how like there's like Binnies out there, Binyamins, like there's
Mm.
all sorts of crazy nicknames
Yeah,
for
there's
Hebrew
Benny, there's
names that
Penny, there's right.
yeah.
Yeah, and the
For
other
what,
the other one was
Pinchas? Pinchas is
Pinchas is
Penny?
Penny. Oh yeah,
See,
Penny.
that's so
Um
cute.
Yeah, the other guy, the boyfriend is Noah, and he calls him Noni or no,
Yeah,
so
Noni or Noonie or something. Yeah.
or Noonie. But I think
Um.
that was not like I don't think those were just like from nicknames. I think those were like their pet names, which
Yeah, because they
I
just
feel is
love
a
each
little bit
other.
of a yuck. Although I do still feel bad for them, and like they're sweet, but that was not
Yeah.
that didn't do it for me.
Their relationship was like actually not really tumultuous though, or
No,
like they
the
just were
opposite.
together and they were like together and loved each other and were supportive of each other. Like that's why this part of why this wasn't like a romance. Like they were
Right.
together and that was that. Like
Right.
the
The
book was
conflict
about
wasn't
the
around their relationship, like
at
within their
all.
relationship at all.
No.
Right.
No. And this other thing I wanted to say was like they at one point during shul, a couple things. There was a bar mitzvah during Rosh Hashanah in this book.
There was?
Yes.
I
The bar
completely missed
mitzvah
that.
boy was sweating on the bima. I'm like, a
That
bar
was Rosh
mitzvah
Hashanah?
was there was a bar mitzvah on Rosh Hashanah in this book.
I never heard of that.
Never heard of such a thing.
No, that doesn't happen. Bar
Yeah.
mitzvah on Rosh Hashanah. No.
So weird.
Okay. Strange.
Thing one. Thing two. They snuck in at one point to the like to a room to like
Oh
make
yeah.
out
Yeah.
in the shul.
Yeah.
If your mom and dad, or in this case dad,
Right.
was out like Monday through Friday.
Right.
And you could hang out at home,
Right.
unsupervised,
Right.
4 nights a week.
Right. Would you really need to
Would you need? I mean, I know it's
would you
different when you're 16, but to have
doesn't
to
seem like
sneak into the youth programming room,
right. You're not like that hard up. Like, come on.
they could hook up all the time, these two.
Right, all
They
week.
have
Right.
so much time.
More than any other teenager. Like
Unsupervised.
what teenagers have
Absolutely.
this? Right, none.
Absolutely. His dad's in like DC, and they snuck in, and I was really, I mean, there's no way. First of all, when I was 16, I'm just thinking about my shul. Like, I didn't have a Hebrew school crush.
Okay.
I didn't have a shul crush.
Right.
So
There was no
it's hard for me to envision this.
right.
Like at 16, if I was at shul, the only place we would hang out would be like the bridal suite or sometimes the Hebrew school classrooms.
But other
Or
people
like
were
this
there.
other
Was
like
it you
social
couldn't have
hall area.
privacy
How
there, you're
could I
saying.
have?
Right.
Where would I have gone? Or the coat room. There was a coat room, but with the door swinging always,
No,
always
no, yeah.
open.
Right. It doesn't seem
You know, with those
opportune.
hangers
Right.
that you can't steal.
Yeah. They're like
Who's gonna
jingling
steal a
around.
hanger?
Yeah. No, very noisy.
But like shul coat
Pocketing a
room.
hanger.
Like,
Gotta take
why
this
does
one.
a shul coat room? Like, why does the architect or the designer of the shul coat room be like, just make sure you get the kind of hangers that don't come off?
You don't want anyone walking off with these babies. That is
So
weird, and
it's
that's
like-
so annoying. You can't it's hard to hang your coat. Like you can't take the hanger off.
It's so
and put
hard,
your
and I
coat
find
on
it so hard now because now I always have like Jonah on my hip.
You're like
I'm like,
struggling.
I'm always struggling.
I hate.
I
your
honestly
shul
just throw
now
stuff
has
on the
those coat ring-
floor. My
those-
shul still has that. Yeah, my current shul still
Crazy.
has that. I still have nowhere I would ever. Mitch and I would never sneak off in shul. I mean, there's no privacy.
Right.
There's like 3 classrooms, the kiddish room.
Yeah, but people are in all those rooms. You can't. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Like there's a bin of Legos in the rabbi's office. Sometimes Binny plays with the rabbi's kids with Legos, but like no one's going in there.
Right.
Except people are going in and out, which is why no one's going in there for hanky panky.
Right.
I can't imagine Avishai and Noah sneaking off in shul, but they did.
Yeah, that was a little contrived. It was like, so the sister would see them and then know that they were, and that started the whole ball rolling with coming out, I think.
Right, the sister did find them.
Yeah. But it was sort of like they had to have basically these people could have stayed closeted. They had the best situation ever. Like they could have just been together all week with Avishai's absentee dad out of the house and then just gone on like that till graduation.
Yes, except it wouldn't have been enough for Noah because Noah wanted a life and he wanted them to be able to be out, and they weren't having sex, these two. They were
Right.
waiting for marriage. So like
Right.
something had to actually happen for them to be able to, start their life outside of the teen lounge.
Right.
And then it does. And hideous things happen at the school. And then they find, in again, completely contrived, like completely utopian way, like very after school special,
Right.
the Rainbow High School.
Right.
They just find like a perfect, accepting high school that accepts everyone.
Right.
You know what school was like? Did you watch Sex Education?
No,
That show's good, by the way.
I never heard of it.
Mitch and I loved it. It's a great show on Netflix.
Okay.
It takes place in like the countryside in England.
Okay.
It's so good.
Great.
There's a kid, a high school age kid whose mom's a sex therapist, and then he sort of becomes like the unofficial sex therapist of his high school.
Cute.
And like people come to him for help, and he has a really great best friend who's adorable, and all these friends and whatever. At some point in like season 3 or 4, their school closes down and blah blah blah, and they go to this new like super alternative school that kind of feels like this, but yeah, it's like I don't know if any of this is if schools like this exist,
Right.
like the Rainbow High School.
Yeah, I have no. First of all, also was that the tour that they take of that high school felt like a real time tour. It was like the most detailed tour of a high school in the book. It was like, here is the music room, here's the gym, you have to change into sneakers. Like, it felt like we were hearing a really crazy amount of detail about the Rainbow High
Yeah,
School.
we definitely were. We definitely were.
Which I get it, that's
By the way,
cute.
I
Like,
say
knowing that
that.
she was 15, like, that was her. Like, she was, like, writing about, her day and whatever.
Yes, but I also feel like something's wrong with my brain because even within my town, there was an alternative high school that was like
Oh.
super accepting and a lot of
Oh.
people went to that was within the public school system. Like we had two
Interesting.
high schools and then a third school called the village school that if you could graduate, like if you went to the village school, you graduated from public high school in Great Neck, but that school, and it was a third option for all sorts of different kinds of reasons. Like some of it had to do with probably behavior, some of it maybe had to do with mental health stuff, like some of it maybe had to do with like maybe there was like some addictions or some I don't know, like there were all different reasons that people went there. Like for whatever reason, the mainstream public high school wasn't working for them and they went to this other place. I had
Cool.
like a bunch of friends at village school, so it's weird of me to be like, whoa. Like
Well,
even
this
in my
seemed
town, it
very
existed.
specifically, like, geared toward people from, like, the queer community who had been sort of, like, ostracized
Bullied
from,
and ostracized.
yes, from their sort of, like, local regular school or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And then also, did you think it was interesting that Avishai notices that there's not so many cisgendered women at the school, and he asks the tour guide, and the tour guide, like, very authoritatively is like, well, cisgendered women have the, like, who are LGBTQ have the least issues with bullying out of all the different demographics here. Like, men and, transgender people have it much harder, so we don't really get as many cisgendered women. Like, and he's like, oh, okay. And I was like, is that true? Like, it just seemed like
Yeah, I
a
don't
very sort
know.
of, like, authoritative statement of something that just seemed, like, very arbitrary to me. So I just thought that was funny, but that was put in there.
Yeah, again, Sarah, are you listening? I'd love to ask you about this. Wait, do you want to hear a little bit about what's happened with this organization, Jonah, or am I
Oh,
just
yes, yes,
pivoting
yes.
really
No,
hard?
no, I want to hear
Okay.
it.
Okay, this is research via Wikipedia, friends.
Great.
Okay, it says the Jewish Institute for Global Awareness, parentheses, JIFKA, known before 2015 as Jews Offering New Alternatives for Healing, Jonah, was a Jewish nonprofit organization, but in the book it says it's Jews Offering New Alternatives for Homosexuality, which of course it was.
Right, it wasn't
healing.
Healing, please.
A Jewish nonprofit organization which offered conversion therapy to persons who sought sexual orientation change. But also, it wasn't people who wanted it themselves. It's people whose parents shipped them off to this.
Well, there might have also been some people who wanted it themselves, but right.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe, but like because they weren't in a community that was accepting, I don't think it was because they like wanted it.
Well, right.
Jonah stated it. Well, maybe.
No,
Jonah
I hear
stated
you.
it was. Jonah stated that it was dedicated to educating the worldwide Jewish community about the social, cultural, and emotional factors which lead to same-sex attractions. Jonah's leaders disagreed with the consensus of mainstream science and the world's major health organizations, who say that non-heterosexual sexual orientation is not a disorder. And then this is interesting. In 2015, a landmark trial found that Jonah's claims to be able to change sexual orientation constituted consumer fraud. The organization was ordered to pay restitution to the plaintiffs and shut down within 30 days.
Wow.
11 days after the verdict, the founders created a conversion therapy organization called Jivka using Jonah's assets. So they just took their money and started a new one, just
Right.
like you said. In June 2019, a New Jersey judge ordered Jivka to shut down within 30 days and pay $3.5 million to victims.
Wow.
Ferguson versus Jonah.
This must be a big business. Like, they're raking it in here with this stuff. Right?
They might be.
I wonder.
I mean, it seems. Is it shut down now? Is it?
Or did they do the same thing again?
I don't know. I don't know. It says that the judge forbade Arthur Goldberg and Elaine Burke from serving in executive leadership or on the board of any nonprofit organization.
Oh, wow. Okay.
to try to put a kibosh and say,
Right. I wonder if
no,
that
you
worked. I
can't keep
wonder.
doing this.
Maybe they created a for-profit organization. I wonder. I
I
mean,
was literally just thinking maybe they just started
yeah.
an actual company instead of a
Yeah.
nonprofit.
Right.
So
Wow.
I knew someone who, I feel like I can't get into too much detail about this, but someone I know came out to me, and we were young, and a little while after, told me they were going to this program called Jonah. Came back from Jonah, very frum and straight.
And have you kept up with this person?
Yes, to
And
some
are
degree.
they still living?
They are, I don't know. I don't know exactly,
Right. Are they
but
married to
I
someone of
don't,
the opposite
no,
sex? Okay.
no,
Okay. Interesting.
yeah.
Wow.
Because the thing about Jonah is that this program was like a curative organization. It was making people very frum.
Right. It's part of the whole package.
Part of the package here was not just about making sure they were straight and like indoctrinating them with homophobia.
Right.
It was like focusing, it was like channeling all of their energy into being like very, very, very religious.
Right. Reminds me of there was this website on the internet, like the early internet, like it was like a from anti-masturbation website. I think it was very sad actually. I mean, it was like geared toward men or young boys, I think primarily, but it was like, a lot of rhetoric about how horrible a sin this is and really trying to like, I guess, be an antidote to like all the stuff on the internet that you could use to masturbate. And then there was even like a part of it where like if you were like so close to like sinning and you just needed to be held back and you were so desperate, where there were like links to like horrible like photos of like atrocity, like like a
Oh my
like that you
God.
could like click on. Meanwhile, like you have the whole fucking internet, like you don't need those links.
Oh
But
my
like
God.
there were like links, and it's like if you're like so close to an avera, like you can click here, and it would like I guess whatever
This
ruin
is
the mood,
so
but
sad.
so
It makes
sad.
me
It was
so
horrible.
sad.
But also like that was the type of thing that I really liked lurking on the internet back, I don't know, 20 years ago. Just because
Yeah, that sounds like
it's like a train wreck. It's so horrifying. You can't believe it exists.
it is so horrible. It's just like the idea that you're teaching these kids like these feelings you're feeling. It's like it's literally like the plot of Spring Awakening the musical, but that takes place in like turn of the century Vienna. Like it's like this is like, but for this to be happening with possibly now.
I
Very
wonder, because
sad,
it also
very
reminds
sad.
me, remember that movie Trembling Before God? Did you see that movie? It
It
was
sounds very familiar.
I feel like I feel like you
We've
must have
talked about
seen
it,
it at
but
like a Limmud or a something, but
yes,
like
yes, tell me more.
it was just like one of the first movies that came out about Orthodox, Orthodox homosexuality in the Orthodox community. And it was like very groundbreaking at that point. Like nobody was interviewing Orthodox people who were admitting that they were gay. And there were like a couple main guys on it who were talking also about having gone to these like straight camp type things and being told to like snap a rubber band on their wrist
Yeah,
whenever they had
horrible.
like things like just very
By the way,
sad.
Miranda July in All Fours snaps a rubber band on her wrist. You'll
Does
get
she?
to that.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Okay, that
Yeah.
book, I have to finish it. It's really like
Yeah, keep going.
It's
Keep
in
going.
I have to.
It
It's in
is.
it's of the moment. Anyway, I hope that this is like not an accurate current picture, I guess is my point.
Me too. Me too. I mean, the thing is, like, I do think it's very noteworthy that it was this organization was found to be illegal, and then they started a new one, and then that was shut down, and then they were told they can't serve on any organization, period.
Right.
So it's like,
Of course.
but I do think
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
within the community, yes, it's like, I have really from family, like in lot, like parts of my family, and yeah, I think that in certain parts of like the yeshivish world, the Haredi world,
Right.
you
I have
know,
just one like silly lighthearted thing though to bring up about this book that I found funny. Although again, like it's written by a 15-year-old, so it's not really that funny anymore, but I just thought it was cute that like toward the end after Avishai, is recovering from his attempted suicide, his dad and his boyfriend are at the hospital and they're all talking, and the dad is saying something and he's like, I could care less if that happened. And Noah's like, and the boyfriend's like, it's I couldn't care less. That's a pet peeve of mine. And I was like, but isn't it also I could care less?
I don't know. It's like sometimes I think it's I couldn't.
I think it could be either. Like, I think it's
Well,
I couldn't care less.
I know who's gonna weigh in on this immediately. Our parents. Why, you thought William was going
Oh,
to?
I thought William might, but you're right. Our parents for sure. Well, I thought it could be either one. Like, it could be I couldn't care less, of course, or like I could care less. Like, kind of
I think
sarcastic.
people say it.
But it's wrong.
Oh, maybe.
Okay. No,
I just
maybe
think
you're
they say
right.
it and it's wrong. I think people just say it and it's wrong, but
Okay, well, that
I
was
don't know.
just, I don't know.
Okay, that's hilarious. Also,
That-
just like, I cannot believe this book was written by a 15-year-old.
I know.
A masterpiece.
It's insane.
She should feel so proud.
That's
Can I
what-
tell you again? This is, by the way, this is me being the Patty and not the Angela. But I'm like, her parents must be so proud of her.
Totally. Can you
like, that's how I
imagine?
feel. Because I'm the Patty, not the Angela. And I am just thinking about how proud her parents must feel that they
Absolutely.
had a 15-year-old who wrote this.
Totally. When I was 15, I had
Well-
to like pull an all-nighter to like finish my term paper. Like, you know what I mean? Because I left until the last
Same,
second.
and also
Like,
I got B's on them. That's the thing. Like, I was like sweating away on like a 1-pager for Jeff Gilden, my English teacher, and he never gave me a great grade.
that's frustrating.
Yeah. But like it's not about the hours you put in. It's about
Right.
like the fact that like my best piece of writing is the comments on Jonah Platt's Instagram.
But those are very good.
Anyway, here's the thing, like this book is not like others. It
Right.
really isn't.
Right.
And we weren't finding like a M for M Jewish romance. I still want to look for one.
Yes.
And I think this was an important Pride Month read, but like if all those content warnings don't scare you, it's a short read, but it's a very heavy one, and there's a lot in there. A lot.
Yes. Agreed.
Also, just like a lot of, because they're from Jews in the Orthodox world, like a lot of those kind of Jewish references, Molly and I often like,
Totally.
you know, getting ready for Shabbos,
Yeah,
saying
the shul
blessings,
stuff.
shul,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Right. That is fun. There
A
were
lot
a
of
bunch
that.
of those. Yes.
yeah, there were. I can't believe it. Sarah Young, if you're listening to this,
I know.
What are you
is she?
working on
What's she
now?
doing now? I would love to know.
well, it sounds like she went to Wellesley, and then I found her Instagram that said Sarah L. Young, author. And then it says, writer, lesbian, activist, dog mom, author of Nice Jewish Boys, Plus One, and Parsha Poetry.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Really cool.
Really cool.
She made a challah, 5 balls of dough, 2 pink, 2 blue, 1 without color, and it is trans visibility challah.
Oh wow.
There it is, showing it to Mal. Not that, you know, the
Pretty.
rainbow challah sometimes people make?
Yeah.
No,
More specific. It's very pretty. Wow.
pink, blue, white. Anyway,
Cool.
Sarah, if you've come across this episode, can't believe you wrote that book,
Really.
and
Amazing.
wow,
Yeah.
amazing.
Cool.
Okay. So, like I said, last summer, we were craving some summery books.
Yes.
And I stumbled upon Summertime Jews by Mark Schwartz. It says a novel by Mark Schwartz. Do you remember when I stumbled across that?
Yeah, of course.
And I was like, it doesn't really seem like it's a romance. So I was
Yes.
like, I'll just read it. I'll read it and report back.
Okay.
Well, I never did, but I think we should just read it because here's the thing. Nice Jewish Boys wasn't a romance. I'm not saying that we totally pivot. But it's called Summertime Jews. It's about like something happening at a Jewish sleepaway camper with Jewish summer camp friends. Like I feel, can I read the description? You tell me what you think?
Sure.
Okay. It's 1986 and the Wisconsin summer air is filled with mosquitoes and Aquanet. When the beautiful, reckless daughter of a multimillionaire vanishes from a Jewish overnight camp, junior counselor and wannabe songwriter Eric Weintraub summons the courage to investigate. John Hughes meets Philip Roth in this coming-of-age tale laced with as much profanity as profundity. Mark Schwartz is the author of Instant Karma, which Booklist called a first novel of remarkable compression, lithe satirical humor, impressive intellectual dimension, and sly provocation. The Chicago... now I'm reading about another book. I don't want to read about that. Anyway, what do you think?
Sure, let's go for it.
Should we? Because you're interested in murder mysteries now.
Yeah. No, it sounds good.
All right.
Wait, but what do you think of my Lolita at Leonard's of Great Neck idea?
Oh, yeah, I also want to read that. Okay, so there's another book, and it has a lot of interest. So tell us about it.
Oh, just William actually sourced this for us, but this woman who's I've heard about for years, Shira Dicker. She's a local media personality, I think, and she wrote her I think her first short story collection, Lolita at Leonard's of Great Neck, which seems like it's like a series of stories that are all kind of romance related and journey through the 70s through like today. And it's called Lolita at Leonard's of Great Neck. So
which is insane because Leonard's of Great Neck is a catering hall in Great Neck, the town where I am from. Leonard's of Great Neck is a catering hall that you pass by driving to and from, many places, and you see a giant chandelier and staircase, and every time you drive by it, someone's like, so-and-so got married at Leonard's. Everyone's always telling you a story about Leonard, so I'm dying to read this.
I just feel like she could be a really fun person to maybe come on the podcast and talk to.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to read it, and I want to read Summertime Jews, and I'm happy to read both for our 2 next books.
Okay.
I also really want to read the next Felicia Grossman book, Wake Me Most Wickedly. We haven't done a historical in a while. She wrote another one. I want to read that at some point.
Okay, cool. So wait, what should our next one be?
Well, what should our next book be? I mean, summer's coming, but summer's also not going anywhere. It's going to be hot for like 3 months.
I mean, let me reach out to Shira and see if she might be interested in coming on and talking to us about her book.
Okay, great. But if she says no, we're not going to be like, fuck her, let's read the Mark Schwartz book.
No, so maybe could we plan to do this one next then? And like, either if she comes on, great.
Okay, but here's what we can do. If she's not available when we record, maybe we'll, punt it, read Summertime Jews, and then read this when she's free.
Good call.
Let's do that. So okay. Those are the 2 next up. We don't know which is the official next one. We'll let you know on Instagram.
We'll keep you posted. Oh, also
this was fun. Oh yeah.
One more thing that I didn't tell you because I wanted to save it for the air. We were talking a little bit. I think this was offline about that it would be fun to go to do some kind of something at the Tu B'Av Bang It Out party.
Yes.
So I wrote to Isaac Galena and I proposed it to him, and he said like that would be fun. I'll circle back to you when we have a date.
Okay, great. By the way, the date's Tu B'Av.
No, I know, but like I think sometimes depending
they
on
always do it on.
If it's I think sometimes if it's a Friday night, they'll do it a day. I don't know. Maybe he was blowing me off. I mean, that's entirely possible too.
Okay, great. I love that.
So I'll keep you posted on that too, but that could be fun.
Okay, great. So we might see you live on Tu B'Av,
which
friends.
I think is like not till like late August. So.
Which reminds me, we should probably talk to the Ripatis again to talk about Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Sure, the calendar's filling up.
Absolutely. There's a lot going on.
You know what? This was fun, even though this book wasn't fun at all. This book was very sad.
Yeah, it was terrible. But I mean, it had a hopeful ending, I think. Like, he was recovering. He had love around him. Like, I think it had a hopeful ending.
Yeah, but Noah was disowned by his family.
Yeah, that was
But
horrible.
Abishai's dad took him in.
Right.
Right. But
no, it was very dark.
It was bleak.
Yeah, right. Bleak. It was pretty bleak.
It was bleak. But yes, but they're out there together, recovering, and
right.
I mean, from the suicide, not from horrible, really sad. But I cannot believe a 15-year-old wrote it. Everyone should check out Nice Jewish Boys if they're up to it.
Right.
Mal, keep me posted
Oh, I will.
on our next read. And we'll let you know on Instagram if you're reading along. But if you know what? You might be like us where you read a lot of books at once. So we're going to read the Shira Dicker book. We're going to read Summertime Dreams by Mark Schwartz.
Yeah, just get on all of it.
Yep.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night. The big 209. We're here.